Today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks to more effectively use the EBSCO database. But before we do that, I want to back up just a little bit and suggest that before you start research in a library database, you think about your topic and your keywords. Some years ago, I read a science fiction book called Ashfall by Mike Mullen. It's a book I highly recommend to you, and it is about a supervolcano in Yellowstone National Park that erupts and sends ash over a large part of the United States, including Iowa, disrupts the climate, disrupts the political situation, and is a very exciting story. But I have a few questions as a result of reading that book about supervolcanoes and how likely it is to happen. So my research topic that I'm going to use as a sample for this demonstration of how to use EBSCO is supervolcanoes. I need to learn more so that I can answer my own questions and maybe even explain how they work in writing so that somebody else could use my writing to build background knowledge about supervolcanoes that would help them read and maybe enjoy the book Ashfall. So before I jump into a database and just type in supervolcanoes, the first thing I want to do is think about other terms, other keywords that might also be useful. And for this, I'm going to use a handy dandy resource called Wikipedia. This is a source that I know all of you are familiar with, and I don't recommend it for citing in a research paper, but it's a great place to start and learn more about a whole host of topics, just about anything you can think of. Wikipedia is a good place to read more. So basically what I want to know is, are there other ways to say supervolcano that I might want to use when I'm searching if I don't find what I'm looking for with the term supervolcano? So I'm just going to scan this article and I'm going to notice that another way to say supervolcano is large igneous provinces. So I'm going to write that down, or massive explosions. Also, there was a show on Nova called Mega Volcano, Mystery of the Mega Volcano. So maybe that's another term I could use. So I wrote down mega volcanoes. I think that's good for now. That's a good starting place. I have more than just one term for when I start searching the database. So let's go to EBSCO. To access the EBSCO database, I'm going to recommend that you start on the library homepage, which is pointlibrary.org. Click on the menu called Do Research, and then Library Databases. That will take you into a new page where you will find all kinds of library databases listed alphabetically. You can also narrow them down by subject if you would like to do that. If you scroll down to the E's, you will find the EBSCO database right here. But before you click on that, notice that up here at the top is a document, a link to a document called Database Passwords. If you don't remember the passwords, all you've got to do is click on this while you're logged into your Prairie Google account, and that will give you access to this document that has all the passwords. I can't click on it now because you can only access it if you're a Prairie student or a Prairie parent. So click there if you don't remember the password. So I'm now going to click on EBSCO, and it's going to ask me to log in. And that's where I will put in our username. And I have saved the password. So the first time you come here, it'll ask you to put in the username and password. Do that, and then it'll say, do you want to save it? And yes, 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 by all means, save the password on your computer. That way you don't have to put it in next time you come. So a couple of tips right from the start with EBSCO. I recommend that you use the advanced search because it gives you a lot more power and control over what you're searching for. Once you click on advanced search, always scroll down here and click full text because you want to make sure that whatever results you find, you have the full text of the article right in the results, that you don't have to go and look at a magazine in the library. You know that you'll have the full text right in the results. So I've clicked full text in the advanced search, and now I'm just going to put in my first keyword, which is supervolcano. And then I hit enter or search. Now, here are my results. That search returned 73 results, which isn't too bad, but let's say I want to narrow it down a little bit. I might decide that I want only magazine articles. So I could click there on magazines, and then it'll update. And now you can see that I'm down to 50 results. Another thing, and then there's other ways you can narrow it down further if you want, by publication or by the type of article or by the date it was published and so forth. Another thing you can do is sort. So let's say I want to make sure I have the latest and greatest information. So I'm going to sort this by the newest date on the top. So I pulled down the sort and I clicked date newest. And look, this article was published, is actually, its date of publication is 1/16, which is 2021, which is actually still a few days in the future. So this is a very recent article. So if you're looking for super latest information, sort by date, and it'll bring the latest stuff up to the top. Once you find an article that you want to look at, you can read the summary right here, and then if it sounds like it might have useful information for you, you can click on the title to go into the full article. Let me show you a few things you can do once you get in there. This is just the text of the article. Notice there's a few photos and probably other things that can help you understand that. So if you want to read the article the way it looked in the original magazine, which is Science News, you can click on PDF full text, and that will take you to a document that actually looks like the page of the magazine. So you'll have the subject features like the title and the section heads and so forth, and the illustrations, which can make it easier to read. Certainly, if you're going to print it, this would make it easier to have all the information that was included. But for now, I am going to go back a page so that I can show you some of the tools that you can use. Okay, once you're in the article, there are several things that you can do to help yourself better read and understand the article. If it's helpful for you to listen to the article while you read along with the text, you can come down here and click the playhead or listen, either way. And the database will read the article out loud to you.
Alaska may be hiding a supervolcano.
And highlight as you go.
Full text. Section. News. A geologic game of connect the dots hints at a giant crater.
Okay, so that's the read aloud feature. There's also a translate feature. So if you prefer to read this article in a different language, like French, for example, you can click Francais, and translate, and that will translate it for you. Another thing that you want to make sure you're paying attention to is here's a permalink to the article. So that's a link that will work to get you right back to here, just in case you get interrupted while you're doing your reading and you need to come back. So this permalink is a good thing to keep track of wherever you're keeping your research information for this project so that you can get back to this article. Another thing you're going to need when you're doing research and writing an essay is a citation so that you can let your reader know where your information came from so they can check your sources if they need to. So you're going to Nice thing about using library databases is the citations are provided for you. So to get the citation, once you've determined that you're going to find some good information in this article, you would click over here where it says Cite on the right-hand side. That will open up a window that will give you lots of citation formats to choose from. We at Prairie use the MLA format. So you're going to just copy and paste this right from the author's last name to the period at the end. You can copy that and paste that into your works cited page. So if you're keeping your information and your citations in, say, a Google Doc, you can copy this and paste it right into your Google Doc. So now you're ready to read this article and start looking for evidence that you can use to support your thesis and your topic sentences in your essay. So get started reading.